Groundbreaking research is giving hope to patients with Alzheimer's disease. The study has linked diets rich in antioxidants to a significant reduction in the likelihood of developing the illness. Joining me to talk about this is Dr. Scott Kaiser from the Pacific Neuroscience Institute in Santa Monica. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So this is a very important topic because of the rates of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So we love to hear good news. What is this about?
Well, 5.6 million Americans suffering from Alzheimer's. We have more people in California than any other state with Alzheimer's. So everything related to Alzheimer's, we need to be paying attention. But this is great news. They looked at people over time and saw that those people who ate the most foods rich in flavonols. That's a type of flavonoid. It's a antioxidant, basically, that's in vegetables and fruits and olive oil and tea and even in wine. People who ate the most of these flavonols were half as likely to develop Alzheimer's over time than people who ate the least amount.
So how big is this sample? Because there's so many studies done on these, and sometimes they're discouraging because they tell you what makes you more likely to develop it. And sometimes they're like this. A lot of people eat produce.
Right.
So how big of a study are we talking about?
So there are definitely some limitations to this study. First of all, it's based on asking people what they ate, to recall what they ate. It was a sizable study, so it was a good amount of people, and they followed them for a large amount of time. What's more important here is that there are many studies that have been adding up to this same finding.
Okay.
So it's just one more piece of evidence that's telling us what seems to be abundantly clear. You know, eat your veggies. So food is medicine, right? Plants are medicine, food is medicine. And like any medicine, they can have tremendous benefits or tremendous harm and be very toxic. So what we eat is critical, and critical for maintaining our brain health.
So what are some of these foods?
Yeah, so kale, green leafy vegetables, right? Kale, spinach, then things like broccoli, some fruits, apples, pears, as I said, tea, olive oil. Blueberries, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, because it's these phytochemicals, these antioxidants that are in the food that give the plants their color. They actually protect the plants from the damage of the sun, from all those free radicals. So then we take them in, and actually when you take them in a whole food, it's this bioavailable compound, meaning it goes really into our blood and actually maybe even crosses the blood-brain barrier to go into our brains to have a protective effect. We call it a neuroprotective effect. So it's really amazing stuff right in your produce aisle you can shop for your medicine.
That's amazing. So there was a time, this is more anecdotal, but I would hear that the opposite is true in terms of, no, it's not so much the opposite is true. People with bad diets were more likely to develop Alzheimer's. So are these studies going in that direction, that diet matters?
Absolutely, diet matters. I mean, if you look, so again, the people who ate the least amount of these good foods had twice the risk of developing it, right? And we know that diets high in sugars, for example, there are a lot of foods that are toxic to the brain. A lot of processed foods have a lot of chemicals and just junk in there that's not good. So, you know, diet is really critical for brain health, and it turns out there are many things that we can do every day to keep our brains healthy, whether it's a certain type of exercise, whether it's even just having healthy relationships. You know, there's an association between loneliness and later development of Alzheimer's. Having a sense of purpose, having outlets for creativity in our life. I mean, the list goes on, but the bottom line is we don't have to live in fear. We can and must take action. We can do things now to protect our brains so that they function well now and function well into the future. And it's critical that we do this.
As we're running out of time, just curious, is there an indication in this study or others like it that if you've already started to develop Alzheimer's, it can still help you to keep a certain kind of diet?
Yeah, you know, I don't think they looked at that in particular in this study, but again, the evidence is really good. The reason they did this study is they've looked at, you know, piece of evidence here, piece of evidence there, including in animal models. And they looked at, yes, when they give these kinds of foods to mice who've been affected by Alzheimer's, they do better and their brains get healthier. So there's absolutely no question. It's never too early and it's never too late to start thinking about brain healthy living. Never too early, never too late.